Some people are naturally humorous. They have jokes at the tip of their tongue. They know what they're going to say. They remember all of these jokes. For me, I've never been that way. Could never remember a good joke if it needed to save my life with it. So thank goodness for the internet. In researching some jokes, it's very interesting to know that there are Toastmaster groups that post their jokes online. So I looked up a few. I hope you enjoy them. An Irishman had been drinking in a pub all night. The bartender finally says that the bar is closing. So the Irishman stands up to leave and falls flat on his face. He tries to stand up once more with the same result. He figures he'd crawl outside to get some fresh air and clear his head. Once outside, he tries to stand up again, falls flat on his face. So he decides to crawl the 2 blocks home. He crawls through his front door and into his bedroom, manages to pull himself up by using the bedposts, and flops on his bed, where he quickly falls asleep. He awakens the next morning to find his wife standing over him shouting, "So you've been drinking again, haven't you?" "What makes you say that?" he said innocently. "The pub just called. You left your wheelchair there last night." A doctor, a priest, and an engineer were playing golf together one sunny summer afternoon when they found themselves trapped behind a group of very slow players. They complained to the manager, but he told them that this group deserved special consideration. They were blind. And not only were they blind, but they were former firefighters who had been blinded fighting a fire that threatened the very golf course on which they were playing. Well, the doctor felt very embarrassed. He said, "Well, I have a few friends that are ophthalmologists. I'll ask them if they can do anything to help." The priest, also feeling ashamed, offered, "I'll make sure we pray for them at Mass on Sunday." And the engineer, he had his own solution. "Why can't they play at night?" Feeling it was time to shake up his company, a new CEO decided to get rid of all the slackers. On a tour of the facilities, the CEO noticed a guy leaning against a wall. The room was full of workers, and he wanted to let them know that he meant business. He walked up to the guy leaning against the wall and asked, "How much money do you make a week?" A little surprised, the young man looked at him and replied, "I make about $400 a week. Why?" The CEO then hands the guy $1,600 in cash and screams, "Here's 4 weeks' pay. Now get out and don't come back." Feeling pretty good about himself, the CEO looked around the room and asked, "Does anyone want to tell me what that slacker did here?" From across the room came a voice. That was the pizza delivery guy from Domino's. And finally, Twitter has a lot of people who are funny. And if you ever peruse Twitter, there's lots of things out there. But this one I thought was rather funny, and I even bounced it off my wife last night, and because she and I have a disagreement on this topic. Marriage is having separate tubes of toothpaste because your spouse squeezes it wrong. Mr. Toastmaster.